California, and that a lot of people saw things, particularly off of Catalina.
Well, that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
What do you think that's about?
Don't know. Locationally?
Yeah.
It's about, I don't know, that's an interesting area of the world. There are some places that seem to have higher activity of these UFOs.
Do you think maybe one of the explanations would be that Catalina is off the coast of California and that they use the water as like a place where they have a base or where they meet or where they
a fueling station or something.
Whatever.
Or maybe just a place, man.
Yeah, or a place completely avoid detection.
Yeah. I was told a long time ago by an admiral that I trust, like family, that this is important to look into, that there's meat on the bone, and that every of our military studies this current day, and this was 10 years ago, conversation. I was asking him, should I waste my time on this Lazar guy? Like,
right,
that's
right.
Specifically, because this is a person that would know.
Right.
Let's leave it at right. And it took a while for this person to really answer me. You know, like they let me into some places to check out just because I had fascination about this stuff, military stuff. They let me come see stuff because I had fascination, not UFO stuff, just general stuff.
Right.
And the person talking about ended up saying to me, it's worth your time specifically to look into Lazar. It's worth your time. And this is somebody that has stopped me from wasting my time on others, right? And this person also said to me that there's more activity under the water than there is in the air with these UFO things. If that's true, I said, how the fuck am I going to research that? I got a submarine. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
What am I supposed to do?
Right.
With that information, thanks. He's like, you ever seen the movie The Abyss? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's a good one.
Oh.
I mean,
the movie The Abyss was fascinating, right? Because that opened up people's ideas to the idea, or opened up people's minds to the idea that there could be a spaceship in the water and aliens in the water.
Yeah.
And that, of course, like, you would have no idea that they were there.
Right.
Abyss is great to the ending. The ending is like
I don't remember
kind of hokey.
The ending.
The ending's like, why are you showing me so much?
I'm just glad we exist. I just watched Contact again.
Contact's great.
Have you watched that recently?
Yeah, I watched it a couple of years ago. I think I watched it during the pandemic when the pandemic first started. Watched it again.
I love that movie, man.
It's a great movie.
I hadn't seen it, came out probably, right? And I watched it the other week. It's that thing where the rest of the world doesn't experience what that person experiences. So Jodie Foster, right? She dropped, is that her name? And she dropped down in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember they put a chair in it and the chair started going crazy because it wasn't designed that way.
Right.
And she gets out of it and the chair smashes against it. For her, she had this whole experience. You know, whatever, not, you know, number of hours, 22 hours, whatever. The rest of the world just saw.
Yeah.
Not even a second. That's your interdimensional theory right there. The idea that there's popping into timelines across space and time.
Well, if you were an incredibly advanced being, you know, if you think about the human race, if the human race doesn't blow itself up and we move on and continue to advance for another 1,000,000 years, you would assume that we would have the ability to do all kinds of things that are just science fiction now. And one of them might be interdimensional travel, access to realms that are previously unseen that we just don't understand because we're just too primitive.
It was preposterous to fly like a bird at one time.
Oh, yeah, it was preposterous to go on a train. They thought if you go on a train more than 35 miles an hour, your body would liquefy or something. They thought you would die.
And to put people up in the air, right?
Yeah.
Just
crazy.
I mean, crazy until it's science fiction until it's science fact, man.
Right.
Maybe what we're witnessing is just nature. See, that's my whole thing with this thing is if this is just nature, if this is part of the ecosystem of the world we live in,
right,
where just like UFOs are part of our reality. There's nothing we can do about that anymore. That has been determined. You've been told. Disclosure in that sense has already been done. You've been told UFOs are real. It's just like, what does that mean for us? In how large of an ecosystem is this dealing with? Isn't that just nature? Like before, we thought there were monsters in the ocean. You've said that before. We thought there was monsters in the ocean. Now we got names for them. Maybe what we're seeing is just a part of nature that we are just becoming aware of, just like a Copernican revolution for whatever.
Right. That there are entities and there are life forms that are far more advanced than us.
Yeah.
And that they've always been here.
The UFO mystery or puzzle might represent something more than just physical machines from other intelligent entities.
Yeah.
There might be something bigger going on.
Like what?
Well, I don't know. As if it's being presented that way to us to almost like educate us or teach us something. I would hope that. I think that's a cool theory.
So they're allowing us to formulate new thoughts based on these experiences in contact
Right.
and sightings.
I mean, it's an altruistic way of looking at it, but
Right.
if I was like this hyper-intelligent species, whether being here on Earth or just been here a long time, maybe I got stuck here,
Right.
or I'm from somewhere else, bringing people, adapting people to your presence and helping evolution, a technological evolution, these craft that like crash, like maybe that's to inspire the next leap.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. Defense people would be like, Jeremy, that's bullshit. They're prepping the battlefield. We're fucked. We need to find out their intent.
Yeah.
It's a different perspective.
But it's also, they seem, well, you would know this. Because I said this before, I want to make sure it's true. The sightings picked up in a big way after they dropped the bombs.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, so after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that's when all the sightings started happening.
Well, even the development.
So during the Manhattan Project,
Yeah, during the development. But
the Trinity.
UFOs have always been part of the human experience. Let's not forget that.
Right.
But it is.
But we don't know what those people are doing, right? When they talk about the Vimanas and the
shields of fire in the sky.
Yeah.
They're seeing. How could
the
we?
Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, there's in so many different, like Ezekiel, right,
Yeah.
in the Bible,
Yeah.
a wheel within a wheel.
It's all interpreted.
Ezekiel's like, well, what?
I don't know. But people are seeing
Right.
things
They're
in the
seeing
sky that
yeah.
seem to be machines. I mean, no matter what, they describe that.
There's also ancient depictions and paintings of what looks like people in spacecrafts flying around.
I've got one of the first posts on every website is like an image of a painting from pre-flight days, and it shows this fucking disc, and it's shooting down light onto like John the Baptist or something. I don't know.
Right.
Dude, artists will sometimes paint what they have seen in historical context. The shit's haunting, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
what we're seeing today has been seen before. Again, I've got an article from 1960 where there's cubes in spheres that fighter pilots see.
Ooh, where's that article?
I'll just give. I had to get it from somebody, but
Do you have a copy on
yeah,
your
yeah,
phone?
I got it right here.
Get it and get it to Jamie.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just words. They just they tell you what the pilot saw.
But still, the fact that from the 1960s they have this
That's what I'm saying.
same thing that they saw that
What's your AirDrop?
Oh, sorry, let me open mine up.
Jamie's MacBook Pro?
Yeah, you can do that. That'll work. What's crazy too is that for whatever reason, they seem to go to specific areas. Like you were saying that the cube with the sphere. Here it is. 2 identified pilots, one flying a Frontier Airlines plane, the other a military jet, reportedly spotted the object. The FAA at Grand Junction said the objects appeared to be spherical and enclosing a square object. The lights alternatively flashing the different colors appeared to emanate from the square object within the sphere. The FAA spokesman here declined to comment further on it. And then go all the way up, James, so we can see what year this is, what time the. So this is the Alamogordo, New Mexico, Thursday, September 29th, 1960. Wild.
Yeah, man.
That's wild.
An online sleuth found this for me.
UFO flashes colored lights on the heels of the green and bright orange unidentified flying object spotted in the Alamogordo skies Sunday night and early Monday morning. A flashing red, white, and green UFO has now been spotted in several New Mexico and Colorado cities.
Which, by the way, red, white, and green were like, oh, that's FAA lights on the stuff I released. And I'm like, really, bitch? I'm like, okay, well, look, they were doing red, white, and green back in 1960 when fucking cubes were flying around and
That is so wild. It's the exact same description.
yes.
A cube encased in a circle.
I don't even think I've one of the pilots about this. I don't know why. I've just never shared this with them. They should probably know. They know now.
Yeah.
Should show them. It's fucking cool.
1960.
Yeah, man. Safety of flight issues. Cubes
Yeah.
again. 1960.
That's crazy. That's really wild, man. Really wild.
Why are you interested in UFOs?
Well, I guess I've always been. I think everybody is. Most people. If you thought they were real, the people that aren't interested in them, they're not interested in them because they think it's nonsense. But if they really thought there's a strong potential for it to be real, I don't know how you could not be fascinated. That's why, I had that argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson about it. Like, why would they care about us? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We go study slugs. We study spores and microbes. Why wouldn't they study territorial apes with thermonuclear weapons? Like, why wouldn't they study that? Of course they would.
He salivating over the fact?
He's an odd guy.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck is going on in his mind. I really don't. He was mocking people for being interested in the eclipse. Yeah. And everybody was giving him shit online. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're literally the guy that's, telling everybody to look at the cosmos.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
It's your inconsistency that I've yet to understand.
Maybe he's troubled. Maybe he's not happy. I don't know. I mean, he generally has so much joy when it comes to science. It's like the inconsistency is confusing to me. And the idea that they wouldn't be interested in us is, to me, preposterous. We would be, if we found something like us somewhere else, we would be so fast. If we found frogs on Mars, just frogs.
Yeah.
I
mean, if you believe the messaging that people talk about, I'm friends with these two ladies. They were at the aerial school, and they, that's where the craft landed, and a bunch of kids, 60 kids or something, they see it. John Mack went and studied it, all this stuff. So that the two females that I know that were there, closest proximity to what they said was a being that came out, they're like, we were mesmerized by it. Like, looking in the eyes of this thing, they were mesmerized by it, was the words. And it put these images in their head, which at the time didn't mean anything much to them. It was like destruction of the earth, like this whole thing. But talking to them now, they're like, maybe we're supposed to talk about this. It's still with them, like what they saw. If you believe their story or not, they believe it, I'll tell you that much. That they got these visual messages, and I've heard this over and over and over. I wonder what they're up to, these fucking weird things, man. Putting ideas into people's heads, man.
Is that painting? So it's called the Baptism of Christ?
Look at the year.
1710.
So that thing in the sky, this circular object that's showing beams of light that shoot down on the baptism of Christ. Can you zoom in on the object? Yeah, what is that?
1710.
That is wild. I mean, what do you think they were trying to show? It's hard to say, but it's illuminating one very specific area on the ground, much like Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Well, everything else in that painting doesn't look imperative, right? Like the people look like people. It's not a Salvador Dali painting.
Right.
So I'm going to make the assumption that in this style of painting, you're drawing this idea of what is there. So I would have to think maybe this person who painted this, maybe they've seen something like that before.
Or that's like their version of showing the power of God without showing God. I mean, I could see that, like a beam of light down to the sky from the heavens. I mean, they're not showing something that they're seeing because it's the baptism of Christ. They weren't there for that.
Right, but I'm saying that they're drawing something. The people look like people.
Realistic.
It's realistic. So, like, what is a disc?
Yeah.
It's just I have no idea. It's just fascinating.
Yeah.
In ancient artwork, that you've got these things that look like this.
Why? I'll turn the question on you. Why are you so interested in UFOs?
I don't fucking know, dude. I think that's funny.
It is kind of funny because we don't have a real answer.
I haven't really figured that out.
No one does.
I like to hunt.
Right. The chase is
That
fascinating.
people will
right?
talk to me, get to sit in these rooms, and I get to be on these phone calls.
And the one, right?
Oh, dude, bro.
Yeah, the wonder is really intense.
I almost don't want to figure this shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Well, I kind of do want to, but then maybe the mystique will be all gone. Then we'll feel terrified.
Right. They're just space whales, and they're turds.
Well, no, I don't think so. I think the idea would be that we're lab rats. I think that's what's scary to me, is that somehow or another we're being examined. And we are such a preposterous yet super advanced civilization. I mean, we're governed by politicians that are clearly corrupt and also full of shit. We allow those same people to control various aspects of the way we interact with other governments that could lead to mass deaths and often do. It's really wild. Like when you think about what we're doing, we use coal-powered plants to power supposedly zero-emission electric cars. It's like, are you fucking crazy? That's, and then we're terrified of nuclear power, which is probably the cleanest, safest form of power that we've ever devised. Like, we're weird. We're weird across the board.
Every country has this UFO thing.
Yeah? What country embraces it the most openly, publicly?
U.S.
The U.S.
Oh, no, openly and publicly. I don't know. France has been really good about it. Brazil. Even Chinese were saying there's so much data that they're analyzing it with AI, aggregate the data.
Brazil had famous crashes, right?
Yeah.
And out of those, some metal evidence was retrieved, correct?
And how you say Virginia is where the being came out, and someone got real sick from it all. Yeah, look, but there have been crashes in many of the country, many of the main countries that like we'd consider technologically advanced or whatever. So like Russia as well. Like George Knapp, remember he obtained and got out from Russia a bunch of the classified documents from the Russian UFO program. And he went and talked with people there. He went twice during Glasnost and Perestroika. And these are the people that ran the UFO programs. And inside those documents, which he's had translated now, right, they tell that they were trying to, reverse engineer laser technology, that they knew we had UFO retrieval programs, that they knew that, some of our programs were doing UFOs. Like all of this is what George Knapp got that out of Russia at a time when he could have been arrested for bringing that shit out in the airport. Every major country has interest and a stake in this because I think people want a technological advantage. They can ascertain anything from this. They got a fucking technological advantage. If Russia had anything, they'd be using it right now too. That's the thing. If we had a really great weapon caused, from the retrieval stuff, but other legislative people from other countries have reached out to me saying that they want to replicate what the U.S. is doing in their country.
So the U.S. doing it most openly now?
Right now, I would say that is a statement. I mean, fast and hard. This language in the UFO language in the National Defense Authorization Act of 2020, UFO whistleblower language, no one's done this before.
So assuming Bob was telling the truth, and Bob Lazar is telling the truth, that means that Area S4 housed multiple off-world crafts.
Yep.
If that's the case, where are those things now?
I don't know. I bet you they fucking moved those out the second opened his big-ass mouth.
Where would their site like that, but it's still remaining top secret? And isn't that increasingly difficult to do with satellite technology?
I know there are facilities that are not. We can keep secrets. We can. Our government can keep secrets. That's for sure.
So there are some top secret facilities that, like Area 51, used to be speculative. Right, it was speculative until they had to acquire more land and make more land top secret around the outside of it. So they had to admit that it was there, right?
Yeah.
Because too many people were
land grab
visiting.
Too many people.
How much of a factor do you think you and I had in the Storm Area 51 movement?
Oh, dude, the kid watched the movie, watched your podcast, and just went up and threw that shit up online. I was doing damage control, man. I mean, I got some angry ass calls. Are you going to cause problems? Kind of shit. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go manage it, man.
Yeah,
just go out there.
Don't go everywhere.
People that want to dog me as most well known for the debacle of the Storm 50. I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Nothing. But I meant in terms of like influencing it.
100%. Is that okay to say? Because that's, you know, fuck.
Yeah. Those conversations we had, I think, with Bob Lazar in particular, really filled people's minds with imagination.
But look at that. And by the way, it was fun. People were really calm and nice. There were some bad actors, like people trying to stir me up, you know?
Right.
You're gonna go raid those kids. No, I think they were like actual
probably
fucking
feds.
You know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like they were telling people to storm the Capitol. Get your zip ties. Let's get in there and find Pelosi.
Creepy, bro. Yeah. I got like that. I got that evil bad feeling where I thought something bad was gonna happen.
I think anytime there's any kind of an organization, someone from the federal government infiltrates it and tries to get them to do something fucked up.
Right.
So that they can invade and then take people down and arrest them. I just think that's how they operate.
But it was kind of beautiful, though, to see people be able to get close to this like super secret gate that normally you'd be thrown on the ground in front of. And what are you doing here? And they were like, there was like a whole welcoming committee.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, yeah. I was standing up there. I got footage of it, man. Just
who was the
agency's plain clothes? Like they made sure you know not to cross that line. But as long as you don't even think about that, it was all hugs and high fives and let's take photos. Yeah, I got tons of photos of people there right at the and they're just all. And then some people recognized one of the people that might have like like that, and then it was like more selfies. It was so funny, dude.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They were super kind, and I thought how cool is that they were like, no, we're just like we're cool today. You can be here today.
Do you think that they know anything?
Employees there?
Yeah,
I've a lot of employees, like former employees, current employees, and it's so compartmentalized. But one place, I don't think I should say this because then maybe they'll stop doing it. But the place where the word on the wash is strong, as they say, the bar at 51.
There's a bar there?
Yeah, man. It's a little secret I keep in because I know the name and I know I can describe it. So if I get somebody...
So it's only military guys who go there and drink?
Yes, you have to be on base. You have to be on base. But it's like, it's always the bar, right, where people talk. So that's where all the rumors go. So Site 4, all that stuff, after talking maybe, 30, 40 people, current, past, all that stuff, people know that there's a facility at Papoose. They know that.
So if you think that they moved everything out of there when Bob started opening his mouth in the late 80s, is there any speculation as to where they would have moved it?
I have no speculation. Don't know they did move it. That's what George has said is like, oh, if it was there, it's gone now because...
Where would you get?
Maybe you leave it right fucking there.
Right, no one there.
Nobody's going there. I actually, somebody that I've spoken with, record, has gone there because they were just, they had access to... And the second they hit Papoose Dry Lake, out of nowhere, civilian contractors with machine guns and black attire... put him face down, and he's a Navy guy. He's a Navy guy with like a good access to the land of 51 because it's so compartmentalized. Usually you couldn't run around, but what he was doing, which it's not important, but he had access to more of the land.
Right.
He got fucking thrown on the ground. He became a believer that day. He's like, there is an instant. I just want you to know my story because he goes, I didn't see the exact thing. I didn't get that far. He goes, but if there was nothing there, where people come from.
Right.
So you get anecdotal. I don't know, dude. Bob. He's so gangster. I don't know if you know this, but the U.S. would never satellite time to take photos of Papoose Lake 1989, 1990. So he hired a Russian satellite to take photos.
Really?
He did.
He hired a... How does one even facilitate that?
I got to talk. I've seen the negatives. They're in L.A. and a buddy of his has them. I want the world to see them. They're pretty neat. They believe there's something there to be seen.
Still,
no, like in these satellites, like it looks like a saucer.
Does Earth have pictures of Area S4?
Let's
find out.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, people have taken planes and tried to come in. See, there's nothing there to see in the mountains. They've got planes close by with like long lens cameras. Are you fucking kidding me? If it's as Lazar described, which by the way, I've had so many confirmations that there is a facility there like Bob described, right?
Right.
But if it was there, the whole point of it is to not be seen from the air.
Right.
That would be the whole point.
Right.
We have that in Switzerland too, by the way. We have like hillsides. And if you know what you're looking for when you fly in to Switzerland, you can see markings on the roads where the planes come out of hills that are completely disguised as foliage and that. The planes come out, taxi onto the roads, and take off. And
from the roads.
And you can see, if you know what you're looking for, when you fly over Switzerland, you can see the markers.
So markers like where they're told to go through, or
yeah,
the
or
markers
like the
where
flight
the
takeoff,
planes,
landing. Yeah, where those planes would take off and land. So
like
they
the
know.
rubber where the tires hit. Like
Yeah. I think where they're going to land and then hide these planes back into these hills that are retractable.
Really?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm told.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
We'll look into it. Got any?
Which one?
Area S4?
I'm looking for that. I mean,
Yeah.
you can see above it clearly.
Let's see what that looks like.
Well, I'm looking for pictures of it, but
So that's it?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to. I don't think it is.
Wait, Area 51?
You actually
It's not
see it.
even new.
That's Area 51. You can actually see it on Google
Oh,
Maps.
yeah, Area 51, you can see a lot of the facility now.
And Area 51 is still active?
Yeah, big time.
This is claiming you can see a UFO from this picture, but this
Wow.
is 2010 or something.
Google Maps reveals secret base within 30-meter UFO with 30-meter UFO at Area 51 claims alien hunter. Where's that?
Claims alien hunter. So we got to look at sources here. What's going
Right.
on?
I'm an alien hunter, bro.
Yeah, man. I hate it when people call me a UFO enthusiast. Waking up in the morning, fucking.
I'm a UFO enthusiast.
You think that's
Call me that? Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I'm enthusiastic.
That's their claim.
Well, that's about everything, though.
That's a UFO?
Yeah. So that's what these things I'm looking at. I'm like, I wouldn't even stop you guys to bring this up.
People are
Okay,
fucking
waste of
loose.
time.
That's a goddamn building, you
So-
crackhead.
Yeah, here's the other thing I found just for clarity. It says you can. This is someone tagged area or S4 on Google Maps. Like when you Google this is what comes up. But they've just circled like parts
Yeah, that's
of
the,
the desert.
hillside where people
Oh,
suggest it was.
so
built in.
you can't really see anything from the sky.
Well, that would be the whole point of installations like this, which we do have.
Right.
According to this map, this says this is a picture from 2022. I don't know what day.
I don't see
but
shit.
Right.
So they're just outlining where the area where it would be, but you
I
really
don't know.
can't see
people
a damn
guessing
thing.
or something.
Huh?
Right
But
back.
wouldn't there be roads that you could see?
It's on
Well,
the
so
edge of Papoose Lake.
so in the older footage, you can see right down to the lake, but that just means people drive down there.
And Papoose Lake is a dry lake bed, correct?
Right. So it's just south of Area 51. Area 51 is the box, right? So it is a designation within the Nellis base, and they're all numbered and labeled Papoose. So there's Area 51 proper with the runway, and then where Bob, would get on the bus is from Area 51, and I have people that saw him get on a bus and drive south, and then drive down to Papoose Lake.
And is there a road that leads to Papoose
There's two.
Lake?
So that one that goes along there.
That's a road.
There's a
Yeah,
bunch
and
of
then
them. I mean,
there's
I don't
another one
know.
There. So fuck,
These
there's
are
a
new.
real road out there. Wow.
roads going a couple different directions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just
Fucking A. What is going on
I
out
don't know.
there?
That's new developments.
What is going on out there? Army,
All right, my friend.
thank you very much for coming in here. It's always a pleasure. Great to talk to you. Thank you for sharing whatever information you have, and else show me off air, and I won't tell anybody.
Okay. Well, thanks for keeping the topic alive, Joe.
Oh, listen, the topic is alive whether I keep it alive or not.
That's
it's,
true.
It's something that more so now than I think any time in our lives.
Yeah,
right.
it is. It's-
Exciting.
Something's about to happen.
Maybe. Know something?
No, I hope.
The real question is, where do your ideas come from?
Exactly.
And if you're picking up whatever these creatures are, and you've been blessed enough to get them, yeah, you should write them down.
Got to write them down.
It's kind of like, I mean, I don't like
You got to honor them,
honor them.
right?
Yeah.
You got to honor them. I mean, that's why people that think of the muse, like the concept of the muse, that's one of the more. It's a productive way to think of it. Like Pressfield writes about it, and Pressfield in The War of Art, and he's a very down to earth. He's not a silly man. He's a very down to earth person, but his perspective on the concept of the muse it's very beneficial if you follow it, because his perspective is essentially that you pay honor to this thing. You show up and you do the work like a professional, and then it responds in turn. It comes to you.
Yeah.
And then these are what it's like. We think of an idea, even though it's one of the most important factors in the entire construction of civilization. But somehow or another, we don't think of it as that. We think of people being that.
Yeah.
And we are, but we're being used by ideas. I know that sounds crazy. I really do. I know it sounds dumb too. But you're coming up with these thoughts, and we're thinking of them as like random connections that you're making in your brain, which might be. It might be that. But it also might be that ideas are like a life form from another dimension that's trying to manifest itself in our current realm. And they do so through getting into people's heads. And the more you call for them, the more they're there for you.
Yeah.
And the more you show up. And you can call that the muse. You can call that whatever you want.
Angels.
Tesla believed it. Tesla believed he was getting signals from some other either some other planet or some other life forms. He had some weird shit that he wrote that's hard to decipher about what he. See if you can find that, because that's a very interesting thing, Jamie. See if you can find what did Tesla. Like, Tesla had a take on receiving information from other galaxies. He had this take on where some of his inventions were coming from. It's like, what? Or some of the transmissions that he would receive. I mean, God damn, it wouldn't have been amazing to talk to that guy?
Yes.
Imagine having Nikola Tesla on the podcast.
Oh. Who knows, man? Maybe you still can one day.
Maybe we could bring him back.
Yeah, bring him back. Or, like, create an AI Tesla. I think a lot of people have that feeling, and some just don't come out of the closet, so to speak, with it because they're afraid they're going to get judged or ostracized. I think a lot of people feel like they have a direct contact with some kind of sentience that isn't embodied inside of them, and it's giving them ideas, and they're just terrified to put it out to the world because it sounds like you're fucking nuts.
His claims of receiving signals from outer space were proven right a century later. Ooh. During the summer of 1899, Tesla set up a field laboratory in Colorado Springs, Colorado, to the possibilities of using high-altitude stations to transmit information and electric power over long distances. 1 July...
This is not what
not
we're
it?
talking about. This is about the signals, not like him getting... I went too quickly on that.
Oh, okay. Where is the signals?
This is like radio signals.
Oh, that he was getting radio signals from other planets.
After the ruling out, I think this is about sending...
After ruling out solar and terrestrial causes, he concluded the signals must be from another planet.
He had a seizure and had a vision, which is what, like, that's a...
Yeah, well, here it says, on 1 July day, while tracking lightning storms... Oh, so it's his actually equipment. His equipment picked up a series of beeps. After ruling out solar and terrestrial causes, he concluded the signals must be from another planet. The following Christmas, in response to the American Red Cross's request for a prediction of the greatest scientific achievement of the coming century, Tesla wrote, "Brethren, we have a message from another world, unknown and remote. It reads, 1, 2, 3. In 1996, scientists published a study replicating Tesla's experiment and showing that the signal was in fact caused by the moon low passing through Jupiter's magnetic field. Holy fuck. He was picking up a moon passing through Jupiter's magnetic field.
Yeah. But he had woo ideas too, man.
Oh, yeah, he was in love with a pigeon.
He's in love with a pigeon. Not just that, though. He, like, I think he did think he was in contact with, like, some kind of sentient intelligence, for sure.
Why not? Why wouldn't you think? If you're that smart, imagine how smart he was in comparison to, like, a regular dope. Hey, mister, you want to buy a paper? You know, those people from back then. Some fucking dude selling papers in the corner, and then the greatest genius the world's ever known up to that point.
Yeah.
Wandering around, trying to figure out how to send electricity through the sky.
Maybe that's all intelligence is, though, man. Is like having the willingness to let yourself go crazy enough to believe you're not the creator of your ideas. To believe that you're an antenna. Maybe that's what makes a person intelligent. Maybe that's all it takes, that and discipline.
Well, yeah, the discipline to learn all the things that you need to know to be able to study and actually implement that technology. It's like Tesla was both things. He was a genius and he was probably some sort of a visionary in that way. Like he had, like Elon has, he had an extra large magnet for ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
I think anyone can do that.
How strong is this weed?
Fucking strong,
Pretty
man. I'm
goddamn
so
good,
glad.
right?
Anytime you give me weed, I always forget how strong it is. And every time I'm like, fuck, man, you got to be careful.
We go high grade up in this bitch, son. It's important to go high grade.
I think so. Yeah,
If
absolutely.
aliens are real, I'm not 100% convinced. I'm probably like 90% convinced. But if they are real, I leave in the room for bullshit. It's like... Jamie, get a picture of your shirt. Show everybody the shirt you're wearing while we're talking about that. It's a UFO. It says, can they see it? Believe that. That shirt. Exactly.
That's a saucer, if I've ever seen one.
I think if they're here, they're not going to let us. That's what I think.
Well, that's what...
I think they're going to swoop in and go, hey.
Well, that's...
Fuck.
I'm 25. right? I can't speak on anything, but just looking from past experience, and there's like drawings, like
Right.
even in the Mona Lisa, there's a weird thing or whatever in the
It looks like a
background
flying
and shit.
saucer.
But there's a spike. It's a spike in like, because it's getting pretty weird here.
The spike, they think it's hard to tell, because sometimes when people talk about UFOs, a bunch of other people hallucinate or lie. Like there's a lot of that.
Right.
So every time there's a real legit UFO,
Right.
you get a bunch of nut cases who just want to tell crazy shit
Right.
about being taken
And I
aboard
see.
ships.
I mean,
you've seen
I
a
never.
UFO?
Yeah.
What'd you see? What'd it look like?
I was probably 16. I was in upstate New York, and it would just stay there. So let me precursor this. My aunt and uncle were very strict, and we had to go to bed at a very strict deadline, probably 10 p.m. And I was looking out the window with my cousin, and it's just a light that just stays there and then just fucking goes off. I mean, it just, whew, you can't explain it.
Well, you're 17 at the time, 16.
Probably.
How strong is this memory when you're like looking at it, when you're trying to remember it?
Immediate.
Yeah.
But
For
there's
sure.
something there.
For something took off and did something that didn't make sense to you.
And then in Utah, I mean, there's shit happens all the time. I mean, even here in LA, I can't tell you how many times, because I used to live in Tarzana. So there was like a balcony here, and it looked kind of like, it sounds corny, but like a classic like force field. Whenever you think of a force field, and it just kind of goes like this, and it's kind of like a dome in a circular shape. And it just goes like this and goes back in.
Whoa.
In Tarzana. Look down at the fucking city. And I'm like, how did no one else see this?
They might.
But I was there with like fucking 4 other people, and they saw it too.
The thing about unique events is if a unique event happens and it never happens again, it's hard to remember. It's hard to be sure what you saw. It's hard. But if aliens are visiting us, like how often are they doing it? Like unique events would probably be what it would be.
Right.
It'd be like occasionally,
Right.
once every 6 months, someone sees one
Yeah.
somewhere. But they're here all the time. They probably just know how to evade detection. I mean, it just, if something can travel here from another planet, it's going to be able to know when they're being watched and when they're not being watched. That's
But
not going to be hard.
That's why you gotta wonder if it's like intentional.
I think there's enough talk about it now that we're probably going to find out what it is in our lifetime. I never would think that before. I think the government withheld information for whatever reason. Maybe they think people are scared. Maybe they think it's a threat to the national security, to have a bunch of people worried that aliens are flying around us all the
Sure.
time. There's nothing we can do about it. Maybe they had a conversation and they thought maybe it'd be better to keep people in the quiet or keep them in the dark so that they don't freak out, because there's nothing we can do about it anyway. If we just tell them that there's aliens that are visiting us all the time,
Right.
That's not going to be good. They're not going to pay attention to taxes and mortgage rates and the stock market. They're going to
they
be
care
like,
about
holy fuck.
uranium and
there's
shit.
aliens. They're around us all the time.
Yeah.
People are going to freak out. So I think like little drops of like this, the recent one they said, where they
Yeah, what did the Pentagon just say?
Yeah,
Literally
they
like
they
2
said
fucking days ago.
they covered crafts that are not from this world, not made on Earth.
Not made on Earth.
Yeah, not made on Earth.
Yeah.
They're basically saying we don't know what the fuck it is, but we didn't make it. That's bananas. And I think that's going to lead to more and more information coming out about it, where we're going to try to get a sense of understanding, like how long have they known this? How much of like all that Roswell, New Mexico shit was
Right.
true? Like tell
Right.
us what was going on.
And backtracking, you got to wonder if like, oh, we've been hiding this the whole time,
Yeah.
or this is the first time for real that we don't know.
This is what I like to think. I like to think that the people that are in charge at the Pentagon are patriots, and they realize it's probably better, especially when You're dealing with the United States that's in this kind of turmoil that they're in right now. It's crazy. Between racial turmoil and turmoil with the police and turmoil with people protesting in cities and blocking traffic, there's so much crazy turmoil. They'd be like, no one's even going to notice now. Just say it now. Just say, yeah, we got UFOs. Like, everything is so crazy. The news cycle of any crazy story like this is only a few days, and then people forget.
Well, or it's just people already know, and it's just normalization. And you think about movies as just normalizing you to the idea that I can't even, like the Canadian, don't quote me on this, but a Canadian, someone in office was like, there's like 7 species of aliens in the U.S. government.
It would be crazy if it was true.
That's,
Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
do y'all
were
remember
right
that?
all along?
Yeah, check that out. Please fact check that for me.
Is he a loony person, though?
I have no idea.
See, people can get elected and still be crazy. That's a problem.
For certain.
That's a problem. Just because, like, when you hear about someone having, like, a really high-profile job and they say something crazy, it doesn't mean they're not crazy. Just because they're the prime minister of some fucking country. They could be out of their mind.
What do we got? Something close to that. How close?
Canada's former defense minister claims that aliens are real. Apparently, there's a humanoid-esque race of aliens called the Tall Whites living among us. Huh. It's Adam Curry.
What publication is
Adam
this?
Curry.
Is this Vice?
Yeah, it's on Vice.
Adam Curry's
Vice.
alien.
There's a few other places.
Well,
There's a few. So it's like a real deal.
Definitely seems like
Come on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy shit. The thing is that guy nuts? Like, what else does he believe in? How does he feel about ghosts? Right? When you think about like an alien sighting, like if you saw an alien and then you never saw one again for the rest of your life, it would fuck with your memory, even if the alien was real. If a saucer emerged in front of you and then took off, that's the same thing with a ghost. Like if you saw a fucking ghost, if you walked into your basement to go get a screw for something and you turned and you saw an apparition of a woman who's like staring you down. Did you ever see that Guillermo del Toro movie about the lady who's a ghost who adopts kids?
No.
Dude, it's a dark movie. What is it called? Mother? What is it called? It's fucking creepy.
Is it?
It's creepy.
Do you like horror movies?
I love them.
Me too.
I love them.
I'm a dirty little bitch. I love horror movies.
I think it's called Mama.
Mama, yes, that's it.
Oh, is that?
Bro, it's so
that's not
creepy.
with 2 Swedish kids, right?
I don't.
Does she have 2?
This is it.
Two sons?
Did you see this?
No.
She has 2 kids.
No, I haven't seen that.
She's well, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give the story away, but it's crazy. She finds these kids in the woods and raises them. She's a ghost, and it's a fucking terrifying movie.
She's a ghost. Wait,
yes. And so
is that
people
a spoiler?
adopt the kids. They find the kids. I can't tell you anymore. I can't
Spoiler
tell you anymore.
alert.
I can't tell you anymore. No, she's a ghost from the very beginning of the movie.
Okay, good. Yeah, this is
can't-
terrifying.
Dude, it's fucking horrifying. It's a terrifying movie.
Well, you get the best of both, right? You get a creepy, like, mom style, and then you get
Yes.
creepy kids, which
You
are,
get
like,
both. You get a
double
kid.
terrifying.
What
movie
I
I'm
can't say
thinking
anymore
of?
without spoiler alert in it.
I think it might be called, so it's 2 kids. It might be Swedish or, like, Norwegian or something.
Is it the
And-
vampire movie?
No,
There's
but
there's a vampire movie, a foreign vampire movie. Is it Let the One In? I think it is, or is that the American version of it?
Let the Right One In is a scary movie.
That's a scary movie, right?
Yeah.
That's a vampire movie about vampire kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, the thing about a ghost is if you saw one and if they're just real every now and then, you saw one and it was right in front of you, you're in the woods,
Right.
you're going to walk your dog and you see some old man with no legs floating in front of you.
That's the one.
Good Night Mommy. Is what
Yeah.
Oh, Good Night, Mommy. What's this one about?
Same. I don't know.
Same kind of deal? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Save that for later.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I missed it.
Some scary lady in the corner.
that motherfucker out. That's
Okay.
a good one.
I'm scared.
But you see him in the woods,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, if you saw some apparition in the woods and then you never saw it again for the rest of your life, it doesn't mean it wasn't real.
Right.
It just means it's really rare that happens. Like, that's a thing about a unique event. Like, Imagine if you're an ant your whole fucking life.
Right.
All you've ever known is this anthill. Everybody's chilling, working every day, chopping up leaves, going out and getting popcorn or whatever shit it finds. And then one day some comes along like Post Malone and just stomps the fuck out of that anthill.
Sure.
Till that moment, all that thing has ever known was that anthill. Never even knew that it was possible for something to, because it's been alive for a couple of weeks. And during that couple of weeks, no one's ever stomped on the anthill. But then it happens. And then you realize that there's no pattern to these things. Anything can happen. Like if you're a person, aliens can land. They can land on the White House lawn tomorrow and take over the world. And there's nothing we can do about it. Like that could be our new normal. Okay, fuck masks. The new normal is there's alien spaceships that hover over every city and they tell you what to do. And you have to work for them now. Forever.
To the ant argument, we're smarter than ants.
Yes, we are. We're, in comparison, probably dumber than aliens are. Like, we're dumber than ants are to people.
Well, like all
That's a
these
guess.
celestial sightings. Yeah, I mean, this is all spitballing here. But celestial sightings documented throughout history. Hey, I just made a fire. This is dope, right? Fire's cool. But what the fuck is that? That has to be God. Like, man has always looked up for answers.
It's true.
And so that's why it's a scary thing. Because do they want to hurt us, or did we come from them?
I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible that we're a product of genetic manipulation. I don't know if we are. I know we're definitely primates.
We're just
so different than every other monkey. All the other monkeys are covered in hair. This is this weird semi-hairless monkey. You know, who knows how to use electronics? Who knows how to send video through the sky?
You know the Aki?
Yes.
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 If Lou was here, I got a great friend, Lou. Shout out to Lou. He would talk your ear off about this whole deal.
To an actual archaeologist yesterday.
Or the Nephilim.
Bradley Garrett. Yeah, the Nephilim or the Anunnaki from planet Nibiru, all that Zachariah Sitchin stuff. You ever read those books?
No, sir.
The books are weird, man. You know what's weird? Like, there's stuff that he was saying in, like, I believe it was like the 1970s, where he was deciphering these texts. And one of the things that he said is, this is the craziest one of all. Humans were genetically engineered from lower primates, and they were used to harvest gold, and that the Anunnaki needed gold because gold is very plentiful here,
right,
and very hard to find, very rare on their planet,
right.
And they engineered humans to mine. That's why people love gold so much,
right.
If you think about like the usefulness of gold,
right,
gold isn't even remotely. It's unless you're making electronics, like. Gold's not the best metal. Like, why is it so valuable? Because it's pretty? Well, it's not even the prettiest shit. Like, rubies are prettier than gold. Emeralds are prettier than gold. Why is gold so goddamn expensive?
But where does this fit in?
Question. Probably just someone tricked a chick into thinking it was good.
I was reading about, like... yeah, that's what... It's like one movie, she had a diamond, and then...
But
popped off.
Let me finish the game because this is where it gets weird. They said that they needed it to hang in their atmosphere to protect them from the sun because they were losing their atmosphere. Well, we're losing our atmosphere. And one of the things that scientists have suggested is hanging reflective particles above the Earth, like putting them in orbit. All like a reflective dust in orbit so that it would mute out some of the effects of the sun. So what they suggested, what he was saying in 1978 is what they suggested in like 2018.
Right.
So when they're talking about how to fix some of the global warming issues, they were literally saying some of the stuff that was in this book that he was reading. He's deciphering these ancient Sumerian texts from 6,000 years ago.
No shit.
I don't know.
I don't know if
his interpretation. He is just a guy who's a linguist who studies these ancient languages and reinterprets them, but it's very highly in dispute. That's the problem. Like you or I, we're not going to figure it out. We're not going to know who's right. It's too complicated.
Right.
But there's a website called sitchiniswrong.com, and if you go there, it refutes all of his. I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but it's interesting to see the argument. But again, whatever the fuck was going on back then, 6,000 years ago,
Right.
whatever was going on, they were writing about some wacky shit.
Right,
man.
right.
You know, they were.
And is the
Yeah.
shrooms or is that
Is it contact?
real? Yeah.
It's not impossible. We could have easily been contacted by some other life form that's similar to us, but that's a million years advanced. We
Right.
could have been contacted all throughout history.
Right.
Yeah. 1960, whatever the fuck it was, all you would have is a drawing and a story.
Well,
Imagine that.
Famous people. Who the fuck knows? But now, if you look at the last 200 years, it has accelerated like a motherfucker. And there's so much, like, 200 years ago, people would look at the Bronco or anything like that and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What is that?
It happened so quick.
It's so quick right now. I mean, that SpaceX thing, they've already figured out how to get something to fly into the sky and then bring it back and land it.
It's insane.
Yeah. We're in a weird fucking time. And if the aliens come right now, it's probably the best time to come. We're going to be the most relaxed about it. No one's been able to work for 6 months.
I
Right?
feel like everybody's,
People are scared to shake hands.
what are you going to do?
Everyone's terrified.
Are you going to high? Or are you
To the
gonna,
aliens?
Are you going to grab your bow?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not stupid. Could come here from I'm not kicking
instant
anybody's
disintegration.
ass. Yeah, I'm not even interested in kicking someone's ass from another dimension. I just want to say hi. Tell me what's up.
Tell me it's actually
I want to
good.
have an podcast. Can you imagine?
I call
Imagine have
Tyler
some
up.
3 foot tall, 40-pound dude with a giant bulbous head and like antenna-like fingers, and he's explaining how they traverse space
No
and time
shit.
instantaneously.
No.
Can you imagine? They're making sounds, and you interpret those sounds no matter what language you're in all over the world. You instantaneously interpret
Well,
what
it'd be
they're
through
saying.
your brain. You wouldn't be able to hear them.
Yeah, they would do it through a podcast. They'd be sounds they make.
They
And
would
we'd have
do
to
it
realize,
through-
what is this sound, and
through
why understand what he's saying?
SM78s.
They would hit you with some sound that's so complex you would understand exactly what they're saying,
Yeah.
even though you don't know the language. And everybody would be like, what in the fuck is going on? Oh my God, there's an alien on the JRE. And that's what it would be. Me talking to some alien.
They better give you some more god money.
I think that's the least of our problems when the aliens come. That shit is going to be wiped
Well,
off.
that's me gold.
Yeah, we're gold miners again, folks. We're gonna look for some sturdy person with a wide back. That's what's gonna be
look good.
valuable. Thank you. But I mean, good enough to mine gold? I don't know. You imagine if that's life in the future? They come down. They go, you got 2 choices. One, we eat you. 2, you mine gold for us.
Are they?
Why wouldn't they eat us? They'd be like, listen, you guys are just protein. You're assholes.
They eat clouds
Yeah.
or like energy. They probably just eat energy.
Yeah. Maybe they exist in some sort of
Dude, they're probably not
redundant
even fucking material.
Probably.
They're probably just fucking ethereal.
Well, maybe they figured out a way to make life. So maybe they figured out a way how to make life where you can transfer your consciousness in some eternal mechanical thing. Let me ask you this, because you're this big coast-to-coast Art Belt fan.
Right.
How much of that UFO stuff do you pay attention to? None. Yeah, me
Zero.
too.
When people contact me on LinkedIn and their major credential is they do a UFO magazine or something like that, I don't add them.
I love that stuff. I used to think it was so interesting and intriguing until I started actually paying attention to it.
Yeah.
When I started interviewing some of the people that are involved in the movement, you find the same thing over and over again. This just wanton disregard for reality.
Right.
This absolute desire to prove something instead of looking at the objective facts, proving that aliens are real, proving that we've been contacted, proving
Okay.
that these eyewitness testimonies are legitimate.
Let me get across a weird idea.
Okay.
Once upon a time in the 1940s, there were 2 guys, Konrad Lorenz and Nico Tinbergen, who got a Nobel Prize for inventing a field called ethology, which is a certain kind of observation of animal behavior. And Nico Tinbergen would go off to the coastal cliffs around northern Europe. And he would observe these seabirds. And the seabirds would go out, I don't know how many miles, 10, 30, 40 miles out to the ocean to feed and bring back food for their young. And then they would come back at the end of the day, and their nests, they'd have 200 nests next to each other, but the nests had very low walls. So when the seabird came back from her fishing and waddled herself into place, moving her hind back and forth to get in place to incubate her chicks, to warm the eggs, she'd often knock an egg out. And when the egg was knocked nest, the bird would reach her beak out past the egg and then pull her beak back in toward her chest to pull the egg toward the nest. And she'd do it over and over again until she got the egg in the nest. And Nico Tinbergen had this weird idea, I wish I knew where it came from, that this is a reflex, you know, like when your doctor takes a hammer and hammers your knee and your leg shoots out and you had nothing to do with it. He figured this is the same kind of a reflex. And he figured that if you have a reflex, you need a trigger for the reflex, like that patellar hammer that hammered your knee. So he looked to see if there was a trigger that triggered this yanking your beak back in order to scoop the egg back into the nest. And he tried building artificial eggs to see if he could find out what the cues were in the egg that were causing this reaction in the bird. And finally, he got a super egg, which means, it was bigger than the normal egg, it was browner than the normal egg, and he'd put the real egg. Now, if you're the bird, that real egg has your genetic legacy. It's your genetic future. A lot is riding on that egg, a lot of you. And the phony egg. And the phony egg would attract the bird so strongly that she would ignore her own egg and yank, yank, yank with her beak until she pulled the phony egg into the nest. Oof. And they continued to do research with this kind of thing, and they discovered that they could trick some songbirds into taking a basketball into their nest. And then when the poor little birds tried to get on top of the basketball to incubate it, they would slide off and they'd be very frustrated and they would climb back on again and slide off again.
The phony eggs like fake tits.
Those things called supernormal stimuli. And the idea is that they bring these reflexive reactions.
Yes.
Hitler was doing underlying what I was doing, dancing on that stage, underlying what you do in front of an audience when you get incandescent and lose yourself and something else talks through you. All that is related to some supernormal pattern in us.
Yes.
So Hitler was basically saying the world is about to end and the kingdom of God is coming. Except the kingdom of God, in his case, was the world will be controlled by the master race, the blonde and blue-eyed Aryans, and all other people will be slave people or will be exterminated. But it was this golden paradise that he was inviting the Germans to, in which they ruled the world because they were born to rule the world.
So, and how did you grab the stimulation? Super
stimulus.
So the supernormal stimulus of this artificial egg is like supernormal stimulus of this extreme behavior at the podium that attract people in.
And basically, Hitler was saying, was talking about the equivalent of extraterrestrials. He was talking about this magic quality of the Germans. He was talking about the shared soul of the Germans and how the people in Wagner operas and the gods of the old Germans had been in the souls of these people, and he was evoking the group soul, the Zeitgeist. The case is the Volkgeist, the spirit of a people. And the flying saucer people are after an end of the world in which the world will be remade. And a guy named, there was a Jewish kid from a backward town, a really backward town, who only had been trained in manual skills. And he started preaching. And he preached that the world was, as we know, it was about to end, and we were about to enter a new kind of paradise. And because he was Jewish, he figured it's going to happen at Passover. Because at Passover, you put out a cup for Elijah, and Elijah's there to precede the Savior, the guy who will save the Jewish people. So he went up to the holiest city in Judaism, to Jerusalem, and he had a dinner, this Passover dinner, and they put out the cup, and that's when the kingdom of God was supposed to arrive. His prediction of a kingdom of God arriving at that particular Passover ceremony turned out to be utterly wrong. And in fact, the Romans seized him and nailed him to a cross. And he died. It was the opposite of everything he'd predicted. But the religion he'd put together was, and the religion really that Paul put together, because Paul was an international figure. You know, he was comfortable in the global world of the Roman Empire. But what Paul put together around Jesus was a supernormal stimulus, and it evoked a supernormal response, a supernormal reflex. And the flying saucer ideas that, here we are on Earth, but there's this race that's above us that can save us, that's pushing at the same buttons. Hitler was pushing at the same buttons. The world, as we know, is about to end, and there's a new paradise, and the Germans will rule everything. So we are built to receive certain kind of stimuli. God knows how we got built that way. And when I went out in quest of the static of God, the gods inside of us, at the age of 13, I was looking for those supernormal responses in us, and for the supernormal stimuli that evoked them. And when you're doing art, when you're doing commentary, when you're doing comedy, you are hitting the buttons. You are creating supernormal stimuli. You are testing out jokes until they reach just the right shape. And you know what you can feel in the audience, what that shape is. And then you repeat that shape, knowing what its impact is going to be on the audience. I wrote a new book. It took me a long time to write all of my books, including How I Accidentally Started the 60s. And by the way, it isn't the same 1995 manuscript. I had 20 years of additional processing and was able to put a lot more meaning into the book. And hopefully it's still really funny. But I was able to write a book in 6 weeks. The first draft of 178,000 word book. And a normal book is 90,000 words. So it's almost twice the length of a normal book. And I was able to do it because I had told all the stories in the book. And I had felt out how the audiences responded to the stories. And I knew the words to use, and they were a well-worn path in my brain. So I simply put down on paper an oral vocabulary. But it's the audience who shapes you by giving you feedback. And eventually you perfect something so it's like Nico Tinbergen's super egg. I mean, Nico Tinbergen was eventually able to make eggs, super eggs, that had day glow on them, had polka dots on them, that were absurd, but they still had the ability, the way that flying saucer myths have the ability, to evoke this sense that there is a paradise beyond the world that we know.
Don't you think of supernormal stimulus that when you see, like a preacher on the pulpit that's screaming with confidence, when you see any of these things, like even when it comes to fake breasts, like you're seeing something like, what you want a woman to be good at bearing children, right? To have the right hip to waist ratio, that she's designed to breastfeed, she has large breasts.
Right.
Even though it's fake, it still hits whatever that genetic button is inside of your head.
Yep.
And the alien theme, the idea behind it, the archetype, is kind of like Space Daddy.
Right.
It's like, I know we're stupid, but just like this guy who's screaming on the pulpit has all the answers. Like, thank God someone has all the answers. Well, Space Daddy is for the atheists.
Right.
Space Daddy is for the people, I've listened to all these people down here. I think they're full of shit, but Space Daddy's going to help us out.
Yeah, what's the general idea?
Is that what it is?
Yes. And when you, as I said, when you fashion a joke, you're fashioning it to be a supernormal stimulus.
But Space Daddy might be real somewhere because we're dealing with
look
extraordinary
at the odds.
numbers.
Okay, science person.
Okay.
I have to tell you that there's only one place in which we've ever discovered any evidence of life, and it's here on Earth. So
Right.
I'm a skeptic of being anywhere.
Right.
Now, changing to a different scientific perspective, there's this thing that I call super simultaneity, super synchrony. And when the universe starts as a rapidly expanding sheet of nothing but space and time. It's space, time, and speed. That's all it is. And when it precipitates in quarks, which is unlikely, how can space, time, and speed become particles, quarks?
Right.
The fact is that there are only something like 16 different forms of those quarks, and there are a gazillion of identical copies of each quark everywhere, and they all sprang into existence at the same time. Fast forward a couple of million years. Galaxies all are pretty much the same, and all of them spring into existence pretty much at the same time, at least the first generation of galaxies. Stars ignite within those galaxies. all following pretty much the same principles. They're all just big gravity balls. Gravity's gravity balls all the way. That's planets, that's moons, all kinds of things. So there is this tendency for the universe to do the same damn thing at pretty much the same damn time, pretty much same damn everywhere in this cosmos. And we do know that there are biomolecules, carbon-based molecules, being formed in interstellar cold gas clouds, interstellar hot gas clouds, all kinds of unlikely places in the cosmos. But those are very simple little molecules. Even though we call them biomolecules, it simply means they've got carbon. Life depends on molecules. In the case of your genome, if we took just one cell, you wouldn't miss it. You have 100 trillion others. So we took just one cell from your body, and we took out the genome, well, it's actually the genome. So we took out the genome, and we stretched it out because it's all tangled up in the cell. It would be 3 feet long. So there's a big distance between a tiny little molecule of ammonia in an interstellar cloud and that huge, very complex, highly ordered 3-foot molecule or single molecule that's your genome. And we haven't learned very much at all about how you go from the simple molecules to the incredibly complex molecules. The origin of life is still one of the big puzzles. But again, because there's super synchrony and super simultaneity all over the cosmos, pretty much the same thing happens at pretty much the same time. The odds are that there are millions of other planets that have life. Those are the odds. But I set all that aside because we don't have evidence of any life, and we've been looking since, okay, I'll tell you a story. It seems to have nothing to do with anything. But upon a time, a manager gave me an act to work with. It was Earth, Wind, and Fire. And so I read all their lyrics. I read everything about them. I studied them like a Talmudic scholar. I always did. And finally, I got to their album covers. And when I got together with the leader of the band, Maurice White, for lunch, because I hadn't yet learned to set up my boundaries and tell people I'll only work with you if I can see you in your own environment for between 1 and 3 days. That wasn't quite at that point yet. I sat with Maurice and said, Maurice, if I've got you right, you believe that approximately 11,000 years ago, people from another civilization, someplace else in our galaxy or beyond our galaxy, came to this Earth and brought us all of our technologies and left the messages of their technologies in the pyramids. Have I got that right? And Maurice smiled, and he said, yes. So I said, okay, there's this scientist from Cornell University, and he has just had a tremendous success with a science series on PBS. It's the most watched series PBS has ever had. And he's trying to put together an organization to find extraterrestrial intelligence. So if I introduce the two of you, would you be willing to do a benefit concert for him? Because right now he's struggling to get money together. And Maurice said yes. So we tracked down Carl Sagan's summer cottage telephone number, and I put together a conference call between Maurice White and, oh God, what's his name again? Billions and billions and billions of planets. Carl Sagan.
Yeah.
And as soon as Carl got wind of where Maurice was coming from, pseudoscience, the conversation was over, because Carl was already gambling too much on ideas that could get him totally laughed out of science. So it was unfortunate, but that was the early 1980s, probably about 1980.
Didn't he just sit down with Maurice and sort of explain what we know so far?
He
Was
couldn't
Maurice's
afford-
stuff done? Was Zacharias Sitchin
It's
stuff?
all kinds of, it's everywhere.
Right.
You can find it all over the place.
But did he have like a source?
Not that I asked him. No,
Just
I was
was
too
like,
busy
he just
trying to put
believed.
this thing together. And it was unfortunate. Yes, it would have been neat if the two had been able to sit down and talk.
But now I'm more, the thing I've become obsessed with lately is the skepticism about UFOs.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk to you about this, because you told me that you've become obsessed with UFOs recently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's
Believer?
like, yeah, totally.
Really?
UFO phenomena is real. I don't know what it is, but it has to be real.
Why is that?
Because there's way too much evidence that it is real.
What evidence?
radar evidence that the F-16 locked on a UFO, that footage, and also just like I know that friend of ours, I don't know if she wants to say it, but her father was an air traffic controller, and he told her, they said, yeah, every air traffic controller has seen something.
Yeah.
And I had another friend whose father was a commercial pilot, and she said, yeah, my dad said every single pilot has seen something. And they've all been told not to say anything about it.
We have a couple of friends say they were abducted.
Yeah.
Yeah, the abducted one is a little easier to wrap your head around because when you're sleeping, your brain is producing all sorts of endogenous psychedelic chemicals.
Yeah.
Almost all of these experiences happen when you're sleeping. Almost all these experiences when these people are abducted, they're taken from their beds, which is when they're dreaming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's some real clear, easy steps to follow if you want to follow Occam's razor and not get crazy with
But
it.
it knocks those doesn't knock out like Barney and Betty Hill and all the people that are abducted while fully conscious and that remember it without hypnotherapy. But the abduction phenomenon. But
I don't Barney and Betty Hill. I know the story, but I don't know them.
Yeah.
So I would have to know them because there's a lot of people that I've like. I did a show for Sci-Fi called Joe Rogan Questions Everything.
Yeah. I watched that show.
That cured me. That show cured me of a lot of my nonsense with conspiracies.
Well, we used to talk about that stuff all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, but I needed to actually study it. So for 6 months, that's basically all I did. I interviewed people, and like Bigfoot believers, UFO believers, and the one thing that they have in common is they all seem to be kind of lost and dependent upon this thing being real.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of being objective. There's only one lady that I interviewed that saw Bigfoot that really seemed to be telling the truth. But I think she saw a bear. I think bears walk on 2 feet all the time. They do it all the time. There's video footage. You can find it all the time. And she was in the Pacific Northwest, which is incredibly dense woods. You see something, you glimpse it. Look, I was hunting once in Canada, in Alberta, and I thought I saw a wolf for like 2 seconds. It was a squirrel. Okay? Understand this.
This very big squirrel?
What is that? Wolf? No, it's squirrel.
Yeah.
No, I just saw fur.
Right.
I saw fur, and I was, because it's really
But you're
dense
convinced.
woods, because I was looking for fucking wolves. Because I was like, because I know we did see one wolf. It crossed the road. It was either a wolf or a coyote. It was hard to tell because it was at dusk. It was very dark out. But when you're looking for something, you think everything is that thing you're looking for.
Yeah.
So like for a second, I thought that fucking squirrel was a wolf.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, expectation and perception are very linked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's also that they found that 50% of everything you see is a product of memory.
Yes.
That when you observe something, they've done fMRIs, and that most of the activity in the brain is in the memory centers, not in the visual centers.
Interesting.
About 50% of the activity is in the visual centers of the brain.
The UFO,
Crazy.
The UFO thing. When I was a kid, went and saw Carl Sagan speak at U of T at the University of Toronto, and I was like, 14. But he did an equation, aboard of the possibility of alien life other than us in the universe. And it came to the smallest, he spent the whole time writing on this chalkboard. It was fascinating. But he actually came up with a number at the end. And it was such a small, he says, there is something out there, but we're so far away that that unless they can go faster than the speed of light, which he said was impossible at the time. This is the 70s.
Yeah.
There's no way we've seen them. That's what he said. So if some other beings have conquered the speed of light thing, then maybe we could see them.
Yeah. The problem with this skepticism in general is like that it, like the skeptics of the 19th century were the ones who said germs don't exist.
Right, because we can't see them.
And people who said germs did exist were ridiculed and laughed out of the trade. Right, and
I agree with you. Really, just because you can't see it or it isn't happening doesn't mean it happen.
And even Sagan's day, there had been no exoplanets discovered then.
Right.
We now know that there are literally trillions and trillions of Earth-like planets.
Yeah, well, they speculated as to the existence of them outside of our solar system before. The real problem is that there's a leap, a technological leap that opens the doors to massive innovation.
Yeah.
That once this happens, and then all this stuff sort of exponentially expands in terms of technological possibilities, all you would need is a few hundred years, and you have an unrecognizable set of technology.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, I mean,
Well, you were talking CERN. I mean, the
Yeah.
whole antimatter idea that they're still trying to figure out.
yeah,
That's an insane source of energy
Sure.
that we have never even experienced.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, with a grain of sand can run a city. I mean,
Yeah.
it's that big.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
then there's also the theory, there's a recent one, that space-time itself doesn't exist. So the speed of light barrier becomes moot because there's, I guess it's the quantum holographic theory of the universe.
yeah.
That-
Is that Albert's book?
I can't remember.
Holographic Universe? Is
But
that who wrote that?
yeah, I think so. But the idea that the universe is basically just a geometry that, when you look at it from a certain angle, seems three-dimensional.
Right, and it folds into itself, so you could
And it's a way-
travel through. That's the wormhole thing.
Well, it's
too.
not even that. It's
For
the idea
travel.
that space time is, and that it doesn't really. That's why entanglement is possible. You know, the idea that spooky action at a distance.
Yes.
That
quantum
Quantum
theory.
entanglement.
Yeah, but the reason that these atoms on opposite ends of the universe can affect each other instantaneously
At the same moment.
is because they're not really at opposite ends of the universe. They're really right next to each other. It just seems like they're at opposite ends of the universe.
Because our ability to perceive is basically based on what we have to do to stay alive on this planet. So our meager little chimp brains are trying to quantify all of these things that are around us all the time. So we put them into this sort of three-dimensional box of movement and distance and
that the entire universe could be a compact thing that projects itself like a hologram onto a screen.
I love these conversations because I'm clearly too stupid.
Yeah.
I don't understand anything I just
And
said.
I don't understand you two, so how stupid does that make me?
Well, we understand each other. So
This is perfect.
We're all the same. Yeah.
But that's why, I think it would be interesting to do a documentary or something about ecology, because one thing is the assumption that they're extraterrestrial is an assumption. But the thing that intrigues me is the power of ridicule to silence even the most intelligent people in our community from examining something. Like the ridicule kept doctors from accepting germs.
Sure.
Because they didn't to be ridiculed by their peers. And even now, you've got people that will, like Michael Shermer, will cling to the most absurd explanations for phenomena like the F-16 radar footage.
What was
I remember it, but it was pretty. It really went to great lengths that entailed having to basically diminish any respect you had for any of the people who reported on the events. It had to go into character assassination in order to eliminate it.
He's a skeptic, and I like Michael a lot, and he's been on the podcast many times. But I actually had him debate Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock about these ancient civilizations, and it wasn't very good for him. There's clunky moments. Well, the problem is they're believing.
They believe in
the problem is being a skeptic itself. It's a stupid way to look at the world.
It's actually sure about something.
I mean, you be objective,
right?
Don't be skeptical,
right?
Being skeptical is like, I don't know, but
I know for sure that that's not true.
But it serves a massive purpose for people that really don't understand things, and he can explain it to you with actual science. As long as the actual science is being used, and it's not character assassination, it's not mockery, it's not. There's certain people that are just debunkers. They can call themselves skeptics, but they're not looking at things like, oh, maybe that is effective, maybe that is healthy, maybe that is interesting. No, they don't look at it that way. No. They're looking at it, they're trying to pick it apart. And that's fine if you can pick it apart. But if you cannot, you have to be objective about the fact that, oh, well, this is a very interesting phenomenon, and this is what we know about science, and this is what we know about this thing. And right now we have a weird conundrum.
Did Chariot God's man? Did he?
Eric von Daniken.
Was he? Was he a believer?
100%. He's all
Still
in.
is.
Still in.
Still
all
is.
in. I asked him. The first thing I asked him, I said, "What is
Can
the?"
I pause?
Yeah.
I have to go pee.
No, go. The first thing I asked him was, "What is the most compelling piece of evidence?" And he pointed to this a Mayan stone plaque that's in Palenque. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Is
it in the book?
Yeah, it's a god, one of their former kings that is lying on his back, and looks like he's moving some. Jamie, see if you could find that thing. It's this really cool carving that they found that looks like there's a guy who's in a seat, and it looks like there's fire behind his back, and you could say
ship, like he's
you
a
could
ship.
say that he's manipulating controls on a ship, and he's shooting a rocket into the heaven. I would like to see what the mainstream version of that is, because also it could just be art.
Imagination.
It could be that they knew about certain things being propelled by fire. There it is. Yep, that's it. If you see this, that's a big ass stretch to say that guy's in a spaceship. I don't know what the fuck that is. He's sitting down.
Looks like an altar, kind of, to me.
It could, yeah, but it does look like he's looking through an eyepiece, right?
That's true.
But what does that mean? Is it a telescope? Maybe he's just got a telescope.
Maybe it's just an astronomer.
Yeah, it is possible. I don't think they had telescopes.
No.
I don't think a telescope was even invented till...
No. Did they even have glass at that point?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't know if the Mayans did.
Wow.
But that was his number one piece of evidence. I was like, that's kind of silly.
I mean, when we were kids in the 70s, Bigfoot, and Chariot of the Gods and everything was so new.
Hey, look at this image. Look at the bottom of it, even from below him.
Which flame?
Yeah.
Where's the flame?
What's the flame? I guess the flame is the shit at the very, very bottom. But I mean, I'm not even sure I buy that. If you were going to draw fire, you'd do a really shitty job if that's your fire.
That doesn't really look like fire to me. That looks like
could be anything.
an ornate seat.
Right.
Or something.
Right. If that's fire, like, what is all the stuff around him? What's all that stuff? That looks kind of mechanical, though, right? It looks like there's bolts.
It does.
Did they have a fire god? Maybe they drew the fire god.
Is that it looks like a monkey kind of face.
With titties. Monkey's got some titties.
Oh, now I get it.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the monkey's, is that his teeth?
It's the first Hooters.
They look like arms, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
It does. It could be arms. But that's the point, is it's so open to interpretation. There's so much that you could see if you're looking to see. But what I do see is this guy who's...
He's reclining in an odd way.
He's chilling,
sure.
and it looks like he's looking through something.
What's that thing hanging across him? You see that thing across his arm?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is. But here's the thing. I don't think anybody knows what the fuck that is. But so for him to say that this was the number one most compelling evidence.
I mean, were people getting high at this point?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that could be just some guy got high and
LSD.
carved something.
Yeah, they were taking different kinds of plants that had lysergic acid in them. So what is this obsessing, what is your more recent obsessing about UFOs? What's the origin of this?
Part of it is just the fact that the evidence, just the evidence itself, says you have to take this seriously, and yet no one does, or very, very few people do. I mean, even like again, that F-16 footage, that even Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is a great skeptic, said on one of the late night talk shows, he said, well, if you really want to look at the possibility of some non-human intelligence, that F-16 stuff is pretty compelling.
Well, the F-16 stuff.
That's the stuff that To the Stars Academy put out. It was the CIA.
Tom DeLonge.
Yeah.
He's easy.
I've never met him. Is he?
Oh, yeah. Very nice guy.
What do you see in the footage?
He's a very nice guy and a brilliant musician.
Yeah.
And he's a loon.
Yeah, I've never
he's
met him.
a fucking full-on believer. I mean, he left Blink-182 to go do this To the Stars Academy shit. He's the biggest goddamn rock band on the planet. Okay, here's something interesting about this. And this was pointed out by a video film by a fighter jet shows an unknown object near San Diego. Video from 2004 was released by the U.S. Department of Defense.
Wow, the way it moves.
There's something about the way it moves is really weird, huh?
Could it be a jet, though? Jets can move that way.
One of the pilots told the media the object was not from this world.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's like the skeptics, in order to dismiss it, they have to go... Well, they have to make arguments that jet fighters are not better observers than anyone else.
Mick Ward's take on that. Mick Ward, the guy who he runs what is it? Metabunk. He runs a debunking site, and he's another one of those guys that is all in with the conventional explanation. He goes way out of his way to not look at anything that could be at
which
least
is the opposite of Occam's
conspiratorial.
razor.
Yes.
Occam's razor says, that if you have to go to great lengths to dismiss something,
right,
that's not following Occam's razor.
Right.
The Razor says if the jet pilot says he saw this, he saw it.
I think he had an interesting take on it, though. And one of the things is there's a time during the video where the pilot shifted from 1x to 2x, which makes the image move more because you have magnification. Like, have you ever used magnifying glasses or binos? Like, if you use 15x binos, it's very difficult to hold on a subject.
Steady,
But 6, you can kind of look at things in the distance.
Yeah, but that's if you don't have about $3 worth of stabilization equipment on your jet locked onto this object, which is why that stays in lock.
He had an explanation though that was kind of interesting.
And when it breaks free of the lock,
how does it take off?
Unbelievable.
Does it just take off or something like that?
It just at one point the object just breaks free of the lock, and that's almost impossible.
I have a question.
It's impossible for anything that man has built to do.
With the quality of cameras today, why is this footage so shitty?
This is infrared footage.
Infrared footage.
Yeah.
Infrared.
Yeah, I mean, you need this when you're shooting at things in the sky. You can't rely on visualization. You're looking at heat. You can't heat signals.
Because visually, it's so far. It would be
escaping the rabbit hole. How to debunk conspiracy theories using fact, logic, and respect. So, what is he saying? The program. Make that a little larger for my stupid eyes. It said, for all, make sure you are talking about the right video. There's two that are confused. Here we're talking about the gimbal video, which is not from the Nimitz incident, which is discussed here. So scroll down a little bit. The gimbal video is that's the one we're looking at. It's an unknown date and location from unknown pilots. No, the TikTok one is from San Diego.
Those are known pilots.
Yeah, 2004. Okay, that's David Ferver. The media's discussed these videos. Tom belongs to the stars. The link contains the frames. What's in? Keep going. The black shape on the object, some kind of infrared flare glare. We know the shape of a very bright infrared source. Like the engine of a plane can be much bigger than the object itself, as explained here. Okay, so there's like a flare.
That doesn't explain the movement.
No, that doesn't explain the movement. It doesn't explain Occam's razor. Is okay. So this guy debunking it.
This guy's saying it's a
look at
jet.
It looks nothing like it.
The movement.
Well, even if it is a jet's not capable of breaking free from the lock, right?
Yeah.
If they lock onto it.
And if you look at that, you can see the jet. His example debunks his debunking.
Right. Need not be moving.
Yeah.
The video need not be moving.
And it's also the assumption that this guy doing probably a few hours research has come up with something that is more credible than a trained fighter pilot who is there visually seeing it.
What do you think it is?
And tracking it.
If you had a guess.
I don't know. I think it is an intelligent craft. It is a craft being piloted intelligently.
Why aren't they talking to us?
We're fucking apes.
Why would you? Yeah, it's like
wouldn't talk to us. We're assholes.
When you look at it, when you look at
the air.
No, I forgot. You're right.
Fucking plastic straws everywhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we cured it. No more plastic straws.
When you're a kid looking at an ant colony, you didn't go, "Listen to me, ants."
Yes.
You just looked at them. You know, there was and they say, why don't they go to the White House? So, why would you, when you look at an ant colony, go, I must speak to the Queen?
Right.
You know?
Yes.
No.
I've always said
you
that.
just look at ants.
Yeah, that's what the most ridiculous thing about the old movies. Like the old would land on the White House lawn.
Right.
You know,
right?
Yeah.
What is
Day the Earth Stood Still.
That's it. Yeah. Baratu Niktu, whatever that thing was.
Barata Niktu.
Yeah, that's the Day the Earth Stood Still was like, what is that, 1940 or something?
50s, 54, 55.
Fucking great movie. I watched it really recently.
Because it's a Christ. I love Christ parables. Christ stories are great.
He was a Christ parable.
Yeah, well, his name was John Carpenter.
Oh, that's right.
Was it?
JC.
That's right.
Christ was a carpenter.
What do they do? Don't they shoot that object out of his hand the first second he pulls it out? Do you remember he has that thing that's going to cure cancer?
Yeah, they shoot him. They
shoot it out of his hand immediately.
Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, he is killed and resurrected.
Right. Yeah. They shoot him and he comes
he's
back
taken
to
by
life.
the robot. Takes him.
Yeah. The robot. Yeah.
Love that
goofy robot.
Very tall.
Yeah. And he looked like you would want a robot to look in 1950.
Yeah.
All metal and shit, smooth. Yeah.
Chrome.
Yeah, those were the days. We thought that they would communicate. Like, wasn't there a whole rash of them that were seen over Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, there was dozens.
Yeah.
Dozens of UFOs tracked and admitted by the government that they were tracking them and watching them. But they essentially, and then at the end, their explanation was, nothing particularly important.
You know, we have a mutual friend who claims, I won't say her name, but she claims she
and
was...
I feel bad because I wrote her off as a lunatic when I first heard it.
Yeah, well, she was claimed to be abducted.
Yeah.
And then I was doing a show with her years ago, and she was telling us the story. Pretty funny, and she says, and then they took a scoop out of my back. And I'm like, a scoop? They took a scoop out of your back? And she showed on her back shoulder there was a hexagonal diamond-shaped scoop out of her back. A divot. That
It was
yeah, that was...
Clearly?
Clearly. And no scar tissue.
Maybe she's a crazy.
No scar tissue, man.
I know how to make this story stick.
Yeah.
A little punch.
But
A hole punch back there.
I worked at a bookstore at the time, years ago, and I went into the alien section. It was the world's biggest bookstore in Toronto. That was the name of it. And of course, I went to the alien section and just looked all this crap up. And there are other people
Yeah.
with the scoop.
Well, there's a lot of other people with
You know.
abduction stories. Some of them have like little pieces of something in their body. I remember you talking to me about this many, many years ago. I was like, oh, Dave's interested. And so you were talking about people that have alien implants in their body.
Yeah. The thing is, to me, it's just, I guess the thing that I'm obsessed with now is just because we're comedians.
Yes.
And
Well.
the power of ridicule to silence debate is unbelievably potent.
Sure.
And we're part of that. We're part of the machinery that was used very, very consciously by the government to silence any inquiry. You know, it was like, feeding the story the right way to late night talk show hosts. Made it so that nobody would talk.
Government consciously fed those ideas to like Johnny Carson and those folks.
Yeah, of a pro, of that they, to make the UFO phenomena ridiculous.
Do you think they did that to avoid mass hysteria? Like if you're the government and you know there's nothing out there, but you see these people freaking out, you go, okay, look, we've used all of our military might, all of our scientific power, and we don't see shit. I'm not buying this, but these people are freaking out. This has the real potential to get out of hand and go sideways on us. Let's just start making fun of this.
Yeah, I think it's more likely that there's something there that they feel powerless to control.
Do you think Kennedy went down into the basement of whatever and shown the alien sitting there?
This is what I hate about aliens in regards to Trump. If there's anybody that would fucking tell us, it's
him.
Trump.
He tweeted immediately.
He would tweet it. He would tweet it.
Looking at it.
UFOs are real, but CNN is fake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still the failing New York Times fails to find UFOs because
I'm
they're
looking
real.
at one right now.
I'm at Area 50.
Does have the evidence. They are never going to show it to Trump.
Right, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point in being president if you can't find out
I
about
thought
UFOs?
Yeah.
If I knew that to become president meant you get all the access to UFOs, I might go,
Yeah.
okay.
So far,
I'll make a try for that.
No one gets it.
Like
I mean,
Jimmy Carter, said he had a UFO experience.
Yeah, he saw it, right?
Yeah.
He said he saw something. But see, that was back in the 70s where everybody was seeing shit. They were all talking about things. It was part of the zeitgeist.
It was.
People were legit, like after Close Encounters of the Third Kind, especially, people were legitimately thinking that aliens were going to come.
Yeah, he proposed such a possible scenario in that movie.
was so good.
It wasn't anything you expected it was going to be.
But like here, I was going to say here, like another example is like the Rendlesham, like the explanation of the F-16's locked, footage, like Rendlesham Forest, where they claimed that these American soldiers in the woods out in England took a lighthouse light for a spacecraft. That they were within 20 feet of a craft that they saw and took notes on, did
20
drawings.
feet?
They were not even like right up against it. And they, wrote down notes, saw like different sort of hieroglyphs on the ship itself, described the feel of it, this electrostatic feel of being around it. And the official explanation was they mistook a lighthouse several miles away for this spacecraft. So Occam's razor again says, that's hard to believe that these trained observers, and that's the other thing, they always try to dismiss the idea that trained observers are better observers. But they are better observers.
Sure.
In the age of today, everyone has a high definition camera in their pocket.
But have you taken a graph of the moon on
It's
your
hard. Yeah, it's
on your
true.
phone?
It comes out
doesn't look
crappy.
like the moon.
That's true.
Yeah,
Right.
no
That's true.
details.
Comes out as a
Because
blip.
the lenses are too wide. But Occam's razor says, all right, they saw something. They, because what is the likelihood that trained observers who have been on this base for years on this night would mistake a lighthouse that they've seen every night for the entire time they've been on this base for a UFO? I mean, what is the likelihood that that explanation is correct?
I'm not a
Rendlesham Forest. Yeah.
Say it.
Bentwoods.
How do you spell
Rendlesham.
it?
Rendlesham. Rendlesham.
Rendlesham Forest.
Yeah, it was Bentwoods. It was 2 nights.
Sounds like a character actor on Columbo.
where there was and it's a nuclear installation.
And Rendlesham Forest.
The nuclear installations are always ripe with UFO stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. What year was this?
This was in the 80s.
1980.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's, and it said, obviously the obvious explanation is, well, not the explanation, the only thing you can accept is that these observers saw something and described it accurately.
Is it something that had crashed?
If you want to say that, no, it came down, was landed in the forest, and took off.
What do you think of the Roswell case?
The night before that, Roswell, I think it's probably true.
Real? You're all in.
Yeah.
Wow, Dave, I never knew. It's interesting.
Again, because the cover stories for it are so much less believable than an alien.
Yeah, I used to have a joke about
Yeah.
that they put on the paper that they have recovered a crashed UFO and alien bodies. And the next day they said, we made a mistake. It was just a balloon. Well, what about the bodies?
Yeah.
What about the aliens?
Balloon.
Yeah.
Those are Mexicans.
Yeah.
They were Mexicans. They were drinking. Apparently, they thought the balloon was a piñata.
Yeah.
They got a little
Yeah.
crazy.
See, I'm believing you right now.
But we just invented some new stuff
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
And then 30 years later, they go, they were altitude dummies that we
Yes.
were dropping.
That's right.
To test how they would fall.
And now we have there's an invisibility cloaks.
Well, they showed up again the next day with a bunch of weather balloon scraps. And
Yeah.
they're like, look, this is it.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy holding it up
Yeah.
like a
But
little...
what they don't tell you is that they flew the wreckage out to Wright-Patterson Air Force in 2 separate planes and that Truman met them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, again,
Yeah.
more rational.
2 separate planes.
Yeah, because they were worried
Yeah.
that one would crash.
The weather balloon thing is not as rational
I love
as
it.
something weird happened.
Listen, I want to be
Me
an
too.
alien so
Yeah.
bad
Oh,
that
me
I
too.
question myself. So that's my problem.
I want
with
to
all
be,
that
but
stuff.
But I won't I'll be skeptical about stuff that just seems crazy, or people that believe sort of ascribe some sort of metaphysical explanation for all this. My thing is just, well, if the preponderance of the evidence says something happened,
Right.
but doesn't tell you what happened,
Right.
then you still have to believe something happened. Not knowing what happened isn't evidence that it didn't happen.
And yet you're still a flat earther.
Well,